ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So today's lecture will be on a very simple topic today. It's not going to be too philosophical, I promise. It's just a presentation which highlights how we can find traces of Vedic culture across the entire planet. So essentially, we can begin. So as we know, the Ramayana and Mahabharata, they form a very important part of our culture, very integral part of our culture. And according to the ancient Vedic texts, Ramayana and Mahabharata fall under the category of history, not mythology. They're not simply stories. They are actual historical events which took place in the past. And not just in India, you find the influence of the Ramayana in various countries around the whole world. So to briefly give a hint on the glories of the Mahabharata and the Ramayana, I would like to read two very important quotes. It is said that the Mahabharata establishes the purport of all scriptures. Once long ago, Vyasadeva made the demigods, headed by Brahma and all the sages, place both the Mahabharata on one side of a scale and all the Vedas on the other. They found that the Mahabharata weighed more. Because it is so great, Mahatvat, and so weighty, Bharavatvat, it is called Mahabharata. This is stated in the Mahabharata, Adi Parva 1.212 to 213. Then the Ramayana states, to read but a foot of this poem will absolve him from all sins. So anyone who reads the Mahabharata and Ramayana, they are greatly benefited spiritually. They make rapid spiritual advancement when they read such transcendental literatures. So if you take a look at Thailand, in Thailand, there is a version of the Ramayana, the pastimes of Sri Ramachandra, which they teach to their people as well. And they, in their Thai language, they call it Ramakian, and not just Ramakian, right? The capital of Thailand for a long time, for at least I think approximately 400 years or so, there was a city in Thailand by the name Ayutthaya, which sounds very, very similar to Ayodhya. And this city, this historic city of Ayutthaya, was actually founded in 1350. It was the second capital of the Siamese kingdom and flourished from the 14th to the 18th centuries, during which time it grew to be one of the world's largest and also most cosmopolitan urban areas and a center of global diplomacy and commerce. So this Ayutthaya was strategically located on an island surrounded by three rivers, right? And the location also helped to protect the city from seasonal flooding. And even for the last 200 years also, Thailand has been having over 9 kings with the name Sri Ram. Ram the first, Ram the second, Ram the third, and so forth. And they have no idea where it's all coming from, and that is Thailand for you. So once upon a time, there was a saint who visited the king of Ethiopia and he presented him a copy of the Ramayana. The king in response replied was, "Oh, I know the pastimes. After all, we are all Kushites." But the king did not know what being a Kushite meant. So after a detailed study of the Ramayana, along with the geography and genealogy of this world, one will come to the conclusion that when the pastimes of Lord Ram had been coming to an end, Sri Ramachandra divided this whole planet into two halves, one for his son Lava and the other for Kusha. And that portion which was given to Kusha was known as Kushadweep. And the descendants of Kushadweep were called Kushites. And Ethiopia even falls in the current understanding of Kushadweep on that half of the planet, right? But it doesn't end there, right? We also know that the pastime of Sri Ram was Tatak. So when Tatak was killed, her son Marich comes to fight the Lord. Yes, but Lord Ram did not kill him, and instead, Lord Ram, by military skill, used one of his arrows and shot Marich. And Marich understood the power of Lord Ramachandra because that arrow brought Marich hundreds of miles across the ocean to a different portion of the planet altogether. So in time, Marich brought forth progeny, and the offspring of Marich and that the family lineage of Marich was called Mauritius, and that line today is called this land today it's called Mauritius in today's time. Even in the Mayan culture also, there is another culture called Mayan culture, and if you study the history and try to map this geography, you map it to the geography of all the parts of America, you will find the Mayan culture still prevalent today. And this Mayan culture descends from a personality known as Mayasur, who is the father-in-law of Ravan. So, if you travel around the world, whether it is Burma, Laos, Cambodia, Indonesia, Malaysia, etc., if you go to these places, you will be welcomed with terminals at their airports named Ram 1, Ram 2, Ram 3, and so on. Even in Bali, also very close to the main islands, which I think, by the way, are called the Pandav Beach. The main islands in Bali are called Pandav Beach, just to start with. And you have large sculptures of the five Pandavs, at least 30 feet, you know. And next to that is a garden, and people are taking pictures of a maybe 50 to 60 feet tall sculpture, which can be seen even from a great distance, from where people seem like mere ants. So this gigantic uh, figure depicts the pastimes of Kumbhakaran fighting many, many monkeys. So you will see, many monkeys slipping through his hand also in his palm. So here is one verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam which actually talks about other locations also of this world. So Kirata, Huna, Andhra, Pulinda, Pulkasha, Abhira, Shumbha, Yavana, members of the Khasa races and even others addicted to sinful acts can be purified by taking shelter of the devotees of the Lord, due to his being the supreme power. I beg to offer my respectful obeisances unto him. So Shuddhyanti Tasmai Prabhavishnave Namaha. So Vedic culture is spread far and wide, which is proof that in the beginning only sheer Vedic culture was prominent across the entire world. Srila Prabhupada even says in the morning walk on May 7th, 1975 in Perth, Australia, that actually there was only Vedic culture all over the world. So this presentation was simply to showcase just small examples of how we can find traces of Vedic culture across our entire planet. There are many more examples that I could have given, but these are just few to show how, wow, Vedic culture existed all over this world, even till date in, unexpected places like America or, Africa. You'll find hidden sculptures of the deities, of various demigods that are unearthed by archaeologists every day. So this is what I wanted to just showcase in this presentation. It's very short, but thank you for your attention. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.